at a synagogue in South Africa that I don't even know how people know who I am in South Africa, but there's a lot of people apparently in South Africa that hate me too. I was a controversial figure there. And when I left, a kind gentleman gave me a book I had never seen before, and I read it. And if more people would read it, the world would be a much better place. It was a book by Rabbi Schneerson, and it is an honor to be here in his community. I want to talk to you a little bit tonight about where the world is headed and the responsibility and the blessing that we have as human beings to be born at this time. I've heard two people now claim that I'm not afraid. That is an out-and-out lie. I am afraid. But I am more afraid of the consequences of going against what my God tells me to do. I am more afraid of what the world will look like if people don't stand up. I don't want to live in a world that has gone insane again. Israel is in trouble. In grave, grave trouble. But more importantly, the Jewish people are in trouble yet again. I don't know what year it is to compare it to, maybe 1938, when the world had a madman spell out exactly what he was going to do. And they ignored him. And here we are again, when madmen all around the world are explaining exactly what they're going to do, and no one listens, and what is worse this time around, the media is aiding and abetting him. It is dangerous, and we must stand together. I tell you, I was changed by the words of Thomas Jefferson. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm a guy who lived a harsh, harsh life for most of my life. Until it came to the point to where I was down on the ground and I had nothing left. And I had to choose, as Moses said, life or death. I didn't know how to live a proper life. But I knew everything that I was doing then wasn't working. And I read the words of Thomas Jefferson. He wrote a letter to his nephew, Peter Carr. His father had died, his mother had died. And right before Peter's father died, he asked Thomas, he said, would you please educate him? So when he came to age, Jefferson wrote him a letter in it. One line stuck out to me at the end. And it said, when it comes to religion, above all things, fix reason firmly in her seat. For if there be a God, he must surely rather honest questioning over blindfolded fear. That phrase changed my life. I took everything out of me and said, I don't believe in anything. Because I haven't earned that belief. I've taken it from somebody else. They've told me what to believe. Question with boldness even the very existence of God. Well, if I'm allowed to question God, then I can certainly question my government, or someone else's government, or the people that make the gears move and use people as grease. So I have. And I can tell you that I don't intend on being controversial. Nobody sets a course and wants to be me. Nobody sets a course and wants to be persecuted, as the Jewish people have. Who signs up for that? But when it's true, it's true. When you know what you know, you live the life. Come what may. And I have to tell you, I have had the slings and arrows, but I never would have believed that just standing up and saying Israel has a right to defend itself would make a man a pariah. That standing up and saying, look what is happening in the region. Use common sense, question with boldness, would make me, quote, an anti-Semite. I'm trying to figure out, because they've actually printed this. He's a Jew-loving anti-Semite. Called an anti-Semite because I dared to say that George Soros is not a friend of Israel. Let me apologize for that statement. I don't think I said it loud enough. George Soros is not a friend of Israel. And if people would question with boldness, they would realize that this administration is not a friend of Israel. That is not a political statement. That is just simply the truth. The good news is, America is not its government. America is made of individuals. We are not a collective. We're individuals. I am a man, and I demand to be treated as a man. I demand to be counted as a man, so others will not be numbered again. We are living in a time when I was told not to use the word Nazi, not to use the word Hitler, not to use the word Holocaust, not to bring history to television. Now, I'm sorry, but maybe I misunderstood the whole reason to build Holocaust museums. Is it so we can go look at scary stuff? Or is it so it imprints on each of us, every generation, so we can recognize the signs and the seeds? It has happened 109 times. Why? Because no one will recognize the seeds. That's what the museums are for. That's why we've said never forget, never again. When you can't talk about the past, when you can't say, wait a minute, hold it. You see the pattern here? Look at the pattern here. History is repeating itself. If we can't have honest dialogue, I hope and pray to God every night that I'm wrong. There's nobody that wants me to be wrong more than me, or perhaps you. But what if I'm right? Pull the roots out. When you see weeds start to sprout, you pull them up. That's why we remember. And if we fail, if we just make the Holocaust academic, then we dishonor every single person that died. It is not academic. It is real life. Too many people around the world think that life is a movie. It's not a movie. It's life. And what we do, well, the choices that we make. Those are the things that sets the course as our credits roll. Before Egypt fell, I said, it will come here. It has. Occupy Wall Street is here. And now, even now, the press dismisses Occupy Wall Street. They say that's a nothing, that it's over. It has just begun. It is here. Jack Palat was a man who lived in Amsterdam. He was a man at 16. He saw that things were changing. And the Germans came in, and at first they took away the radios. And he said to his father, "Father, this isn't right. We've got to get out of here." "Hush, hush. Don't. You'll make more trouble. Shush. It can't get worse than this." Then it was special hours at the store. "Hush. You'll make it worse. It'll never get worse than this." Then they took the cars away. "Hush. It will never get worse than this." Then they were in a camp. Jack was selected on one day to help people into the trains. Their destination was another camp, Auschwitz. He was selected, and on that day his father was selected to go into the train. He said he pulled the door of the train closed and looked at his father as his father reached out and put his hand on his son's arm and said, "Don't worry, son. It can't get worse than this. It will get worse than this if we don't stand up and stand together."